Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharetz, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boacham leShalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu, Nile Shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zayd kam leShalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Good Shabbos. We just sang Shalom Aleichem with Yehuda, you and I and other people throughout our community. What a way to begin an evening, singing a song, a prayer of a peaceful greeting. Not only a greeting to angels, but a greeting to one another. Even if we're temporarily alone in our own homes, we are singing to each other. And in a moment, Yehuda will lead us in the Yedid Nefesh, found in the siddur on page number 5. I'd like to teach you the word Yedid. Yedid means beloved or precious one. Grammatically, it's related to a word that you know very well, the name David or David, which means beloved or cherished or precious one. The poem Yedid Nefesh in the siddur on page number 10 is simultaneously talking to and of and about the soul of each one of us and God. And the poetry, which is beautiful, is a little highfalutin. And there's one element, I think, of this poem that puts forth the message that the soul is the beloved one of God, and simultaneously God is the beloved one of the soul. As we join with Yehuda for Yedid Nefesh, think of it. You've just called yourself, by singing this song, God as being your own beloved one. Yedid Nefesh.
Yedid Nefesh V'Rachman, Yedid Nefesh V'Rachman, Meishach Avdecha El Ratzonecha, Meishach Avdecha Yadadadadada El Ratzonecha. Yedid Nefesh V'Rachman, Yedid Nefesh V'Rachman, Meishach Avdecha El Ratzonecha, Meishach Avdecha Yadadadadada El Ratzonecha. Yarutz Aldecha Kemo Ayah Ishtachale Yadadai Yadadadadai Mu Hadarcha. Yedid Nefesh V'Rachman, Yedid Nefesh V'Rachman, Meishach Avdecha El Ratzonecha, Meishach Avdecha Yadadadadai El Ratzonecha.
page 11 in the siddur. In a moment, L'chuna Ranana, but first, a thought. We may understand our days to be a pilgrimage in time, from the 6 days of the work week to the experience of a day of rest, holy time. The generation which left Egypt and wandered in the wilderness never reached its destination, the place of God's rest. But every Friday evening, we have the opportunity to make the journey anew. We can enter God's rest. L'chuna Ranana on page 11. This is a melody that Yehuda compiled. L'chuna Ranana.
Siddur Yishenu Ekad Mafon Abetoda Naria Letzu Yishenu Mizmiro Narialo L'chuna Ranana L'chuna Ranana la 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 L'chuna Ranana Naria Letzu Yishenu Ekad Mafon Abetoda Naria Letzu Yishenu Mizmiro Narialo L'chuna Ranana L'chuna Ranana la 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 L'chuna Ranana L'chuna Ranana L'chuna Ranana L'chuna Ranana.
The flow to the Friday evening service is one of singing, and L'chuna Ranana begins, come on, let's sing. And now the next piece, also a composition originally prepared by Yehuda himself, on page 13, it's Shiru, God, we're going to sing to you. Yehuda wrote this own melody. He wrote it himself, and we're very proud of Yehuda, and what he shares with us always lifts us up. So we're on page number 13. It's a little bit of Hebrew, a little bit of English, and even if you don't know the song, you'll catch it very quickly. Even if you don't know the words, you'll catch on very quickly. Shiru means, come on, let's sing. Shiru by Yehuda.
Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz Shiru Ladonai Baruch Shmo Yom Yeshuato Sing to God a new song Sing to God all the land Sing to God and praise His name and tell of His saving hand. Shiru Ladonai Shir Chadash Shiru Ladonai Kol Haaretz Bazaru miyom Yom Yeshuanto. Sing to God a new song. Sing to God all the land. Sing to God and praise His name and tell of His saving hand. Shiru Lord and I, Shir Chadash, Shiru Lord and I, Kol Haaretz.
And singing is not limited to only us. On page 14, Yismechu Hashemayim, first a little bit of English, and then another melody by Yehuda. Yismechu Hashemayim on page 14, the English is translated as, the heavens shall be glad and the earth will rejoice. The sea and its fullness will roar. The meadows and all that grows in them exult. Even the trees of the forest shall sing praise to God. This psalm teaches that the whole world itself is singing a song to God. Yismechu Hashemayim on page 14, the last stanza.
2, 1.
Yismechu Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, V'tangei la'aretz. Yismechu Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, V'tangei la'aretz. Yismechu Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, V'tangei la'aretz. Yiramayam, 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 Umelo. Yiramayam, 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 Umelo. Yismechu Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, V'tangei la'aretz. Yiramayam, 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 Umelo. Yiramayam, 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 Umelo. Yismechu Hashamayim.
When the melody ends, he's over.
Yismechu
his melody ends,
Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, V'tangei la'aretz.
Turning to page 20, we have the words, Romemu Adonai Eloheinu. Lift up your voices and sing. God is being lifted up by your and my intention. We affect God. Romemu Yehuda.
Romemu Adonai Eloheinu V'shtakavu Le'ar Kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu V'shtakavu Le'ar Kodsho. Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Memu. Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu V'shtakavu Le'ar Kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu V'shtakavu Le'ar Kodsho, Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu, Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu Romemu, Adonai Eloheinu Ve'shakahu, Le'ar Kodsho, Romemu Adonai Eloheinu Ve'shakahu, Le'ar Kodsho.
And now we're ready to greet Shabbat. The Lechadodi, found on page 23. The first two stanzas in page 25. The last stanza is a song wherein all of us, whether in the same room or connected via the internet, are welcoming Shabbat with song. And it's customary at the very end with the last stanza, which we call Bowie, to rise and face our own doors wherever we may be, in our own homes or at the synagogue or somewhere else, because we are physically, with our body language, welcoming Shabbat. Now pages 23 and 25, the first two stanzas, and then the last stanza, Lechadodi Yehuda.
Lechadodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat mikavela. Lechadodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat mikavela. Shamor v'zakor v'dibur echad, ishmi'anu elam chad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shilti red baliti la. Lechadodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat mikavela. Lechadodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat mikavela. Likrat Shabbat lekubanecha, ki makor habaracha, mirosh mikedem nesucha, zok maser shavamati la. Lechadodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat mikavela. Lechadodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat mikavela. Bohi v'shalom atzert bala, gam b'simcha u'botzevola, toch emunei am zegula, bohi chala, bohi chala. Lechadodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat mikavela. Lechadodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat mikavela.
Please remain standing for just a moment. The concluding psalm of the preliminary service is found on page number 29. Adonai is sovereign, robed in splendor, girded in strength. The earth stands firm, not to be dislodged. From earliest time you were enthroned, O God. You are eternal. The rivers rise up, Adonai. The rivers raise up their roar. The rivers raise up their waves. Above the roar of the vast sea and the majestic breakers of the ocean, Adonai stands supreme in your house, beautiful in its holiness. Your testimonies endure, Adonai, for all time. Remaining standing, the Borchu on page 39a. Baruch hu et Adonai HaMavorach. Baruch Adonai HaMavorach le'olam v'ed. You may be seated. The first bracha on the English side. Baruch atah Adonai, our God, sovereign of time and space, whose word brings the evening dusk, whose wisdom opens the gates of dawn, whose understanding changes the day's division, whose will sets the succession of the seasons and arranges the stars in their places in the sky. who creates day and night, who rolls light before darkness and darkness from light, who makes day pass into night, who distinguishes day from night. Adonai Tzvaot is your name. Living and ever-present God, may your rule be with us forever and ever. Baruch atah Adonai, who brings each evening's dusk. V'chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu olam v'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim. Typically, we would turn to the second bracha of the evening service on page number 40, which is entitled Ahavat Olam, the love that fills the universe, the love that is infinite, the love that is eternal. But tonight, because Yehuda is with us, we move in a slightly more contemporary direction. Ahavat Olam, you'll recognize it. Please sing along, Yehuda.
Ahavat Olam, Beiti Yisrael, Ahavta. All the world sings to you, the world sings to you. All the world sings to you, the world sings to you. The song of the trees when wind stirs their leaves. The song of the earth when rain soothes its thirst. The song of the sea when waves are set free. The song of the sky when hummingbirds fly. Ahavat Olam, Ahavat Olam, Beiti Yisrael, Ahavta. All the world sings to you, the world sings to you. All the world sings to you, the world sings to you. The song of the trees when wind stirs their leaves. The song of the earth when rain soothes its thirst. The song of the seas when waves are set free. The song of the sky when hummingbirds fly. Ahavat Olam, Ahavat Olam, Beiti Yisrael, Ahavta. All the world sings to you, the world sings to you. All the world sings to you, the world sings to you.
O God, never withdraw your love from us. Blessed are you, God, who loves the people Israel. Shema on page number 41. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadavarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha u'v'lechtecha v'aderech u'v'shachbecha v'kumecha u'kishartam la'ot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'ktavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'sharecha. Adonai Elohechem emet. We turn now to page 44, the Michamocha. This is an excerpt from a very long song. It's actually chapter number 15 in the book of Shemot, the book of Exodus. The people of Israel, having crossed over the sea, have turned back, and they realize that no longer will the army of Pharaoh be pursuing them, and they burst into song. And an excerpt of that song is Michamocha, which is the vocabulary of turning back and seeing that what we thought was a threat has abated, and there's a sense of great joy and relief. That's Michamocha. And may be that you and I, in our own individual lives, can look over our shoulders and have that sense And if you and I cannot find it, perhaps we can become acquainted with somebody else who sees that a threat is no longer pursuing her or him. Michamocha, and again, this is an original composition by Yehuda.
Michamocha molim Adonai, Michamocha neder b'kodesh, Torah ta'ilo osei fele, Torah ta'ilo osei fele, Malchutecha rahuanecha, Okeyam lifnei Moshe, Seili anu ve'amru, Adonai yimelo le'olam vayeh.
On page 45, an excerpt from a well-known prayer, the Hashkivenu. If you have the transliteration before you, it'll be the first two lines of the transliteration and the last 2 or 3 lines. Yehuda is going to offer a more modern version of the Hashkivenu. It's a beautiful piece, and the wording and the melody both call out for us to have a sense of calm this evening. But a prayer for calm and peace and tranquility is not only for one person, it's for everyone. Hashkivenu, the suffix of a Hebrew word that is new, always refers to all of us together. Hashkivenu, Yehuda.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu le'shalom, Hamidenu Malkeinu le'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu le'shalom, Hamidenu Malkeinu le'chaim. Ufro Salenu Sukkot Shlomecha Lechaim Ushalom Me'atza ve'ad olam. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu le'shalom Hamidenu Malkeinu le'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu le'shalom Hamidenu Malkeinu le'chaim. U'le'chaim.
Vishamru has become a well-known and popular melody, and Yehuda now leads us in the Vishamru. If you need the words and you have the siddur, it's the top of page 46. Otherwise, I think you'll catch on. Vishamru.
Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et hashemayim ve'et haaretz ve'shamru b'nei Yisrael et Shabbat asot et Shabbat לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, Amen. Be'alma divrach v'temchutei b'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei nechol beit Yisrael ba'gala ba'gala uv'izman karif v'imaro. Amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mavarach L'olam li'olmei olmaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalal shemei d'kedusha b'rechu le'la min kol berchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata ta'amiran b'alma V'imero. Amen. Those now able to rise are requested to rise. The silent prayer before us, pages 47 to 52, is known as the Amida, which means the standing up prayer. And you might ask, why do we have to stand? Perhaps we can just say prayers when we are seated. And of course the answer is absolutely. And this doesn't apply to those who may have limitations in arising. For those of us who can comfortably get up out of our seats, when we stand, we alter our body posture. And perhaps this prayer is saying, alter your body posture and now take it one step further and alter your mental and spiritual posture. For now you're standing in the presence of the Creator of the universe. And the Creator is listening. What will you say in these next 3 or 4 silent minutes? If you're continuing to pray, please do so. Shalom Rav by Yehuda. It's in the siddur on page 51, the last bracha, the last blessing of the Hamida. In the Hebrew, the red transliteration on the facing page, page 51, Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon Kol ha-shalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amha Tasim Leolam. Tov enecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael Bechol ezu vechol shah Bishlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam.
Yitkara v'yitkara shemei Rabba, Amen. Be'alma divrach yutim chutimiru, Amen. Yehei shemei Rabba mevarach, La'olam li'ol me'almaya, Yitbarach. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitparveseh v'yidadar v'yidalev v'yidhal shmei dekudesha b'rechu le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata tush berchata v'nechamata damro b'yom avimero. Amen. Titgabel tzloton v'ton d'chol yisrael kadam avuhon di v'yishmai v'imero. Amen. Yesh v'imero. Amen. Oseh shalom u'mavi yaseh shalom v'imero. Amen. And now Yehuda singing Oseh Shalom.
Oseh Shalom b'imruma Hu yaseh Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael Ve'himeru Amen Himeru Amen. Oseh Shalom b'imruma Hu yaseh Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael Ve'himeru Amen Himeru Amen. Oseh Shalom b'imruma Hu yaseh Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael Ve'himeru Amen Himeru Amen.
In a moment, we will make Kiddush together. Perhaps you have a glass of wine that you'd like to hold as we sing Kiddush. Kiddush is a Hebrew word. It comes from the word kadosh. Kadosh means holy. Kiddush means the act of sanctification. Many people think that Kiddush is Brit Guffen. Kiddush is actually the concept in our minds to sanctify the time in which we dwell. as a reminder of leaving Egypt behind and becoming free people. Thereafter, Shabbos, in addition to Passover, becomes an opportunity for us to see ourselves as making a difference in time. That's what Kiddush is all about. I hope you have a glass of wine, and please join me if you're looking at the siddur. The Kiddush is on page number 55. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam borei pri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'yavo v'ratzonin chilanu zikaron l'maseh reshit ki hu yom techila l'mikra'ei kodesh zecher l'tziat mitzrayim kivanu v'acharta V'yotanu kidashta mikol amim v'shabbat kodshecha b'yavo v'ratzon hinchaltanu baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat. And perhaps you have a piece of bread. We can make the hamotzi together. And in a little while, after we conclude the services, we'll also be lighting candles, and perhaps you'd like to light candles with us. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Please remain standing. Aleinu is on page number 56. Page 56, the Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol latet gedula liotzer breshit shelo asanu kugoyeh ha'aratzot velo samanu k'mishpachot adama shelo sam chelkenu kahem V'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim u'modim, lifnei melech malchei amlochim, hakadosh baruch hu, shehu noter shamayim yoser haaretz, u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim mima'al, Shchinatu zo, v'gavei meromim, hu Eloheinu ein od, emet malkeinu ebezulato, kakatu b'torato, v'yodata yom v'shevota el levavecha, ki Adonai hu Elohim, Bashamayim mimal v'al haaretz mitachat ein od. Kakatu b'toratecha, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed, v'nemar, ve'aya Adonai, le'melech al kol haaretz, v'ayom hahu, yihyeh Adonai echad, u'shemam, Shema echad. You may be seated. One of the best known of all Jewish words is the Hebrew adjective baruch, which means blessed, related to the Hebrew noun bracha, or blessing. When we use the word bracha, we can refer to a little phrase, a sentence that many people associate with the prayer book, but it doesn't have to be from the prayer book. For example, the Hamotzi begins with Baruch Atah and ends Hamotzi Lechem Min Haaretz, or the Borei Pri Hagafen. The Kiddush is a long bracha. The blessing that we say when we put on a new garment, let's say, the Shechianu, or arriving at a special occasion. We have dozens of brachas, blessings, in our Jewish tradition. But the word bracha, a blessing, can also refer to that sense within us, a sense that hopefully is one of calm or peace or hope, love, security, reprieve from anxiety and fear. All those are brachas as well. Typically, when you and I use the word bracha in conversation, we might say, oh, have you heard that so-and-so is having a sense of bracha? But some people only think of the word bracha as Baruch Atah Hamotzi Lechem Min Haaretz. One of the first words that Jewish people ever learn is the word Amen. Amen is traditionally recited when people hear the bracha, Hamotzi or Hagafen or Shechianu or any one of our other dozens of brachot. The word Amen is a very simple word. In the ancient days, it was written as Aleph, Mem, Nun. And then much later, as centuries passed and Hebrew traditions were taken all over the world, eventually words were transliterated. And the word Amen, rendered into what we call English letters, became A-M-E-N, Amen or Amen, depending upon your accent. Amen is a word which means I affirm, I endorse, I agree wholeheartedly. So if somebody says a bracha, like the Hamotzi or the Hagafen or Kiddush or Shechianu or any one of the dozens of brachas that we have, somebody else hearing the bracha, the little prayer, says Amen, which means I affirm what you have just said. The main operation in Jewish sensitivity arises from one person's speaking and someone else's listening. There's an interactivity going on with bracha and Amen. Most people don't give too much thought. But I want us to pause for just a moment during the chaos in which we find ourselves and take a step back and think of two very simple Jewish words that we've learned ever since we were little ones: Baruch and Amen. And when one person initiates Baruch, what she or he is actually saying is, I am calling out to the universe that I have a sense that the creator of all reality is blessed and is as close to me as this piece of bread, this glass of wine, or this mezuzah that I'm putting up on the doorpost, or this shofar that I'm going to be listening to. I have a sense that in this little act, the creator of the universe and I are this close. That's what Baruch Atah means. And then somebody else, ever since he or she was 3 years old, 4 years old, 5 years old, hearing that one person says, I am this close to the creator of the universe, says, Amen. I agree wholeheartedly. In effect, we are teaching our toddlers, and hopefully you and me together today, that we can be as close to God by listening to someone else's statement about having a sense of godliness in his or her life. Baruch and Amen are not limited to 3-year-olds and 6-year-olds. Baruch and Amen are messages for adults to listen to each other and to open their minds and their hearts It's the possibility of having a spiritual encounter with the one who fashioned all space, all time, all reality. This is on my mind because of a word related to Baruch, the word bracha, which means a blessing. And it begins tomorrow's Torah reading. Moses says to the people of Israel, Re'eh natati lacha, today I've given to each and every one of you the chance to have bracha, a sense of blessing in your lives by being close to God. He's speaking to the entire community. Tens of thousands of people have been following Moses through the wilderness. And in just a little while, he's going to die, and they're going to cross out of the wilderness into the promised land. They've had many opportunities to experience wholeness, closeness, intensity of experience, spirituality between themselves and God. They've had a chance to experience bracha. Moses, I think, is teaching them, each and every one of you, listen to the other, so that when one says, I have had an encounter, that the others say, I'm listening to you, and I want to be part of that encounter. And so to the second, and the third, and the 10,000th, and the 600,000th. May it be that you and I, in these days, which are days that are fraught with uncertainty, can open our ears to someone else. It may be that she have an experience that is contagious in a different way, not a frightening way, but a spiritually uplifting way. If she can experience God by putting a mezuzah up on the door or hearing the shofar, if I can experience the sense of God by looking at a rainbow or a majestic vista and conveying that to someone else, then perhaps you and I can take hold of that bracha, that sense of blessing, and feel it inside ourselves and respond with Amen. In a moment, the Mourner's Kaddish. And again, critical to the Mourner's Kaddish is hearing what the mourner is saying and then responding by Amen. The interactivity at work is what makes the Kaddish so powerful. That mourners are speaking and we are listening. On this Shabbat, within our congregation, we remember Marvin Olinsky, Rini Block, Sid Marcus, Sarah Liebeskind, Bill Strinsky, Aaron Fischler, Harry Zarimba, Minnie Maisel, Melvin Weber, Annalie Reddish, Fred Frisch, Thelma Carafoil Miller, Blanche Feynman, Joseph Baer, Leonard J. Sibley, Eleanor Hyman, Myra Etta Lassner, Reuben Camille, Sandy Gerwich, Philip Reddish, Larry Michelle, Mendel Wallman, Lillian Rudnick. If you know someone, please mention that person's name at this time. Yitzkadal v'yitzkadash shemei rabba. Amen. Be'olma divra chirute v'yamlich malchute. B'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chaye dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'v'zman kari v'miru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevarach le'alam ololmei olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudesha b'rechu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran ba'olma v'miru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'miru. Amen. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'miru. Amen. May we continue to listen to each other, hearing the words that other people are sharing and taking hold of their feelings and their experiences. And may we offer comfort to all those who mourn and all those who are grieving. In a few moments, we will conclude with the song by Yehuda, and thereafter, if you'd like, join us in lighting candles. A couple of quick reminders. Tomorrow, of course, Shabbat morning services from 10 to 11:15 a.m. here on YouTube or on the Shoal website. Tomorrow evening, Havdalah, Alabama, virtual Havdalah and beyond. And that's tomorrow evening at 8:15 on Zoom. You have the link. It just went out about an hour ago or so. Sunday morning, for those living locally, if you're interested in dropping by and visiting at the Shoal, physically distant, wearing a mask. Some people eat donuts. We bring chairs and we sit under the front portico. Sunday morning from 10:30 to 11:30, just a chance to see people in three-dimensional form. That's Sunday morning. Monday, Tanakh study is on Zoom. Monday at 5:30, story time for the kids on Zoom. Monday, Tanakh is at noon. Tuesday, the Spirit series on Zoom continues. Peeking into Pirkei Avot for a spiritual lesson. That's Peeking into Pirkei Avot, session number 2. And that's on Tuesday from 5 to 5:30. And we'll stop announcements for now, and we'll conclude the service with a song by Yehuda, He That Keepeth Israel, after which, please join us in lighting Shabbat candles.
He that keepeth Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps, slumbers nor sleeps, neither slumbers nor sleeps. He that keepeth Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps, slumbers nor sleeps. Hine lo yanun velo yishon, lo yanun velo yishon. Hine lo yanun velo yishon, shomer Yisrael. He that keepeth Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps, slumbers nor sleeps, neither slumbers nor sleeps. He that keepeth Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps, slumbers nor sleeps. Hine lo yanun velo yeshon, lo yanun velo yeshon. Hine lo yanun velo yeshon, shomer Yisrael.
And now we'll light the candles and we say the bracha about bringing light into our lives, not only in terms of our mind and our eyes, but into our room itself. The beginning of Shabbat is brought forth by bringing light into our rooms. May it bring peace and rest as well. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu l'adikner shel Shabbat. You are blessed, God our God, ruler of the universe, for bringing us holiness into our lives with the command to light Shabbat candles. May you have light in your hearts and your spirits this Shabbat. Good Shabbos.